Revit Site Designer is a subscription tool and it's available in the Autodesk website for free. Just create an account and you get it. Revit Site Designer is a good tool in terms of designing site features like roads and walkways and curbs and modification of the terrain to give you a certain landscape. And can call it grading. The only disadvantage, or it's not an advantage as such, it's got remedies within Site Designer, is that Site Designer is not so compatible with Revit, but the tools it has is sufficient for you to get the accurate results you desire from it. Well, let's start off. So, Site Designer, this is the tool, this is the palette. The first one is the import or export. Import land XML. This is in case you operate from Civil 3D or other surveying softwares from which you can import these formats. And then there's the base topography, where you actually make this Revit site Site Designer friendly, either by setting a topo or a base topo, or simply converting it to something which Site Design actually recognizes. And then this locate. The locate is actually the tab. It's like the modify tab, where you sketch all the stuff you need for the site. And then modify is where you modify what you have already drawn on the site. And then reports, where it's annotate, and due to the incompatibility of Site Designer, it comes with its own tools of annotation. So if you, in case you want to annotate, for example, heights or the different elements you created, then you use this tool here. And then the most important is the family manager. The family manager will actually manage the attributes of these tools over here. So if you want to know what a soft terrain is, well, from the basic point of view is that a soft terrain is simply a modification of the land without putting any hardscape on it. So if you want to know how that operates in Revit, then you have to come to the family and manage what a soft terrain is. And once you open that, this directory, the location of the family, and then you can modify it again, and then it gives you the subcategories of the family: 6-foot berm, building part. So these names are generated as a result of modifications of these parameters. Well, let's try and modify. What does the building part does? Modify, and here you are. It defines the cut slope, which is either that or that. If your base topography was here, then if you lift it up or cut it downwards, then that will define the slope of the cut. That is the offset. For now, we'll just leave it at 0. Cut slope, let's do 60 maybe, so that you can see how conspicuous it is. Or let's also do 60 here. And these are identification parameters. We won't use them now. And we just say OK and OK and OK. Save. Oh, it doesn't have permission, so we'll just close for now. Well, but it's appropriate that we make a copy of it, then we save it elsewhere. That's when it should be able to save. So let's just close it. Say yes. So after family modifications, which you can do at your own choice, then it's time to sketch. But you can sketch on the Revit topography, so you have to set your own base topography. The first thing you do is to name the Revit topo. I called it Y, you can call it Z. Once that is done, then you set a base topography from which all these elements will be hosted. So let's say set a base topography from Z and say OK, and let's call it Site Designer Z. Apply. Okay. I recommend that we hide the Revit site so that you're not hindered while sketching. So here we are. the families you just edited, which is the building part. Okay, and then what name do you want to give it? Let's just say it's a pad. And do you want it to be at a relative elevation from the topo or a constant elevation? Let's say constant 600 from the topo. And now segment and chain is dependent on the host line you just sketched. So let me just close out and explain it better. So if you go back to the plan, when you want to do a site designer, use site designer, then it's appropriate that you sketch out in line work, model line, that is the kind of shape you want your soft terrain or your street to take. So later on I would want my street to take this shape, and I would maybe want my soft terrain to take this shape. Alright, so back to 3D. Site designer, cancel out, site designer, soft terrain. Now when you click chain, then any click at one of these lines, it would recognize that chain and make the site modification along it. Now if you choose segment, it will only take one segment of that sketch. That is if you use existing outlines. Alright, if you draw a host line by yourself, there's another option of radius. Now this is the chamfering radius. If you draw something like this, then the radius at which this point chamfers is controlled by this parameter here. So for now, let's use the existing host lines you have sketched and do a 500 or 200 and say insert. Now which is the host line? That. Now do you want to project the slopes inward? Let's say no, and it will take a bit of time. And there is the soft terrain. Quite good for grading. So maybe you want to delete this off or even modify, or you realize it's high and you need to change this elevation. What do you do? And that's where this tab here comes in handy. So you choose the soft terrain and you come and tab select the host lines you sketched. If you select that, it gives you this. Do you want to move the soft terrain aside? Do you want to add a vertex? Do you want to change the elevation? Let's try change elevation and pick one of this point, put it at 0, say okay. Maybe one of these points, put it at 0, say okay, and then cancel out and apply. Take some time. And sorry, nothing happened. Well, I think it was so close to 0. Let's try the modification again. Soft terrain, pick the host line, sorry, tab until you pick the host line, move, or let me just stick to my change elevation, give this 4000, say okay, then cancel out and say apply. It has lifted that point up to 5000. Now it slopes that way. Quite easy. Say cancel. Well, that should be enough for now. Our next tutorial will focus on the next tool, which I think is street because it's interesting to me. Later on we'll see how feature line and retaining walls and sidewalks are done in the same manner. Thanks for watching.